Hey GAWDA members, welcome to the 75th episode of GAWDA TV. It's a fitting episode to be celebrating this milestone as we recently returned from the GAWDA annual convention where we celebrated our 80th anniversary. Here to talk more about the amazing events from this year's show is GAWDA's Vice President of Operations and Administration, Natasha Alexis.
Steve, I am still energized from our 2025 annual convention meeting in Tampa, where over 919 members came together, took time out of their busy business and family schedules to join us. Thank you to each of you for coming together as GAWDA celebrated 80 years as an organization. Of the 919 attendees that were in Tampa, 477 were suppliers, 236 distributors. Great support. Thank you to each of you. We appreciate you. We kicked off the annual convention, of course, with registration, where members came in to pick up their credentials. We did things a little bit differently this meeting and asked the question of where you were staying, which hotel you were staying at. Thank you for your patience as we try to collect this data. For those who don't know, we book our hotels 3 years prior to arriving for each meeting. This information that we collected at this meeting helps us plan for the future. We're able to project how many rooms we need, our growth, so that we can comfortably accommodate all GAWDA members at the headquarters hotel. So right now, October 27th, 2025, we're booked through 2028. So we will begin contracts for 2029. So again, collecting this data from our members helps us prepare for future meetings. So thank you so much for helping us gather this information. Next, our board meeting, 45 volunteer leaders met for our board meeting, which included committee chairs and regional chairs as we planned a robust year for 2026. Thank you to all our volunteers. We could not do this without you. Next, our newcomers event where we welcomed over 80 first-time attendees to a GAWDA national meeting. This was a fantastic event. Thank you to the Member Services Committee, especially Jason Coles, for putting this together. We had newcomers come in, meet with different volunteer leaders, even spend time with some of us GAWDA staff. It was really enriching experience, and we hope all our newcomers felt welcome into our GAWDA family. Next day, we kicked off with the Networking 360 event, 4th edition of this event. Thank you to the 150 member companies who participated. There was a lot of buzz, a lot of movement in the area. And those conversations continued into the contact booth program where we had great traffic, a strong showing from our supplier members, exhibitors. The next day, we kicked off with our opening general business session. The morning started with our GAWDA president, Eric Wood, who gave an update of his year and what GAWDA has been able to accomplish. Our special 25th anniversary of giving back to local communities in the cities where we host our annual conventions. Eric Wood and his wife Paula presented Black Dagger Military with over $200,000 in donations. How generous is our association? Over $3 million given in 25 years. Thank you to GAWDA members. We also heard from morning speakers on geopolitics and high performance. Great morning. The Women of Gases and Welding hosted a beautiful afternoon event at the rooftop of the aquarium, also a sold out event. Thank you to Women of Gases and Welding and young professionals as well. Now, we wrapped up the convention with the closing general business session with a lively industry panel discussion with some leading distributors. We received lots of feedback from that presentation, and we'll have the recording available on the members only site for those who want to see it again, or for those who maybe weren't able to join us in Tampa to view. And then we had a memorable, fun conversation with Duck Dynasty Willie Robertson, who was able to share some tidbits about his family business and faith. Very fun presentation. And then we changed leadership and now welcome our new GAWDA president, Allison Earlbeck. So a really wonderful conference. Again, thank you to all GAWDA members for your support. Please look out for information on 2026 national meeting dates and our regional meeting dates. We also did hear from the Northeast Regional Chair, who's doing something different for his regional meeting, the Northeast Regional Meeting. All that information is on GAWDA.org. Thank you, Steve, for giving me a moment to just quickly recap the annual convention. We look forward to seeing all members soon. Please stay tuned on GAWDA.org for upcoming information. Thank you, everyone.
To completely relive the show, be sure to check out the full recap connection or any of the photo galleries from this amazing event by clicking the links in the description below. To view supplier interviews from the Contact Booth program, click the playlist below. Thank you again to the more than 900 members who joined us in Tampa. We've got more convention-related videos in store for you today, so stick around right after a word from today's presenting sponsor, Weldcoa.
If your process requires a large volume of gas, cryogenic liquid, or supercritical fluid, we can automate it. Weldcoa engineers advanced systems that fully automate the connection between the bulk liquid supply and the application at hand. We have a proven history of designing custom systems for extractor units, CNC machines, vessel pressure testing systems, refueling systems, and more. If your process involves controlling gases, we can help. We are Weldcoa, your engineered gas control process experts.
Every year, the GAWDA Annual Convention business session concludes with the induction of the new GAWDA president. This year, we saw the induction of our 2025-2026 president, Allison Earlbeck. Before Allison took the stage to be officially sworn in, audience members were treated to an induction video introducing the full membership to their next GAWDA president.
We actually started as a different company, TA Canty, and TA Canty was a company that my grandfather actually worked for. He bought the business in 1952, and it's been in the family since then. My dad took over the business in the 70s, and he has worked here his entire career. When I first started to work for the business, my dad recommended that I shadow each and every person that worked here. Looking back at that now, I think that that was probably one of the most pivotal experiences that I could have had in working for the business, where I would have never understood the nuances of a certain role had I not gotten a chance to just basically follow an order all the way through.
I never tried to push her in the business. My dad pushed me into the business, so I was kind of surprised when she did decide to stay. And then I couldn't get rid of her.
When my dad and I started to get serious about succession, and I told him that I definitely wanted to, have his seat moving forward, it was probably 2011 or so. My dad said, either you can go to school and you can get, an MBA, or I'm gonna give you a real MBA on the fly, which is I'm gonna show you what it's like to run a small family business. It definitely humbled me to understand what good leadership looked like. My dad was very careful that he wanted to make sure that, I wasn't just the boss's daughter, bringing her dogs in like Paris Hilton, kicking her feet up on the table, and not necessarily, taking it seriously.
She got the bug, and I think what really pulled her in was the family structure of GAWDA.
I think a lot of people working with their family, it can really be a make or break scenario, and for us, it made us even stronger. My parents live a mile up the road. They have a beautiful farm where I keep my farm animals. I get to go and visit there every day to take care of everybody, check in on, mom and dad, see how they're doing. I love it. It's beautiful. I pretty much live my life in service of my animals. If I am not at work, I am probably taking care of one of them in some capacity. I've got 5 dogs, 10 chickens, a duck, a pig. I care for 2 horses and a cat.
She would come in here when she was a preteen, paint cylinders, do little odds and ends in the summertime, which was neat to see. But I think the feeling of the company was it's the boss's little daughter. But she's disproven that theory because of the way she's grown in the company. I think the main thing is she's worked her way up. She wasn't given anything.
The first time I met Allie was in the interview. She was the COO of the company at the time, and so I've only known her in that executive type position. Coming into Earlbeck, there was an immediate difference for me. It was family owned, it was well organized, well structured. It had really great bones to it. I was really stuck on a culture. Allison was super professional, very clear. I had an immediate respect for her in that way.
Allie's very aware that she holds all of our livelihoods in her hands in a lot of ways. It doesn't freeze her in indecision, it doesn't make her panic. She's just a really calm, cool, collected person under stress.
I find myself to be really in the middle of a very important generational shift that's happening, and I feel like I have been in the industry long enough that I kind of understand the old guard and I understand the old way of doing things. However, I also do have friends that are Gen Z that are coming up in a very different outlook on how work should look. And I understand both of them. And if anything, that is my hope to bestow upon GAWDA is just kind of understanding how we can manage that.
Sometimes the older generations have a hard time dealing with the younger generations. Just on philosophy of the way you do business. And I think it's good for us to have someone of that generation.
Previous generations have really paved the way, but there's going to be different ways to navigate it here on out. She has networked with the Gen X, the Boomers, the Millennials, the Gen Z. It's finding a way to build the team so that somebody else's strength meets with somebody else's weakness, and that's what gives you that solid team. Allie's the perfect person to really help bridge that gap.
You're in for great leadership, modern, a fresh take in a lot of new ways, especially as it pertains to how we grow our businesses, all as individuals, but also as a group.
Allie's going to be a really beneficial person to help GAWDA bring that together as an organization.
It's been a pleasure working with you for these years. I wish you the best of luck in any endeavor, especially with GAWDA. I know it's going to be a lot of work for you. We've got the home front here covered. Thank
you, Allie, for setting the standard and being that caring leader to make sure that people are felt, heard, and given the opportunities to do their job and do it well.
Good, bad, or indifferent, you're stuck with her now.
Following her induction, Allie took the stage to introduce her vision for her year as president, as well as debut the theme for her year, Human Advantage in the Digital Age. Allison, we can't wait to work with you this year to see your theme come to life, beginning with next year's SMC in Oklahoma City. Congratulations on this well-deserved honor. During her inaugural address at the annual convention, GAWDA President Allison Earlbeck discussed changes to the upcoming regional meeting schedule. Next year's regional meeting slate will kick off much earlier than usual, with the Southwest Regional meeting in Sonoma, California from February 10th to the 12th, followed closely by the Northeast Regional meeting in Killington, Vermont from February 23rd to the 25th. In addition to the earlier schedule, Allison mentioned that the GAWDA Young Professionals Committee would be holding a GAWDA Growth Workshop at each of next year's 6 regional meetings. Joining us today to discuss these exciting opportunities is Southwest Regional Co-Chair and YPC Co-Chair Marie Ratermann Williams. Marie, thank you so much for being with us today.
Yeah, thank you, Steve, for having me. I love watching GAWDA TV, so it's great to be on it.
Marie, the Southwest Regional is going to kick off the regional slate for 2026 from February 10th through the 12th in Sonoma, California. Can you give members a sneak peek of the event to get them excited about it?
Yes, absolutely. There's so much to be excited about. So the GAWDA Southwest Regional was typically hosted in Houston, Texas. The Southwest region of GAWDA has been expanded, and California has been absorbed into that, which happened last year. So now we're going to rotate between Colorado, Texas, and California. So this will be our first time doing a GAWDA regional event in California in the last few years, which is really exciting. It's going to be in beautiful Sonoma, California at the Sonoma Mission Inn. So the thought was, how do we get outside of our industry bubble and look at how parallel companies or parallel industries to the gas and welding industry are doing things in a really effective way? So that's using AI, hiring and retaining employees, and also how do you go and get new customers and retain them? So we're going to be looking at parallel industries similar to the gas and welding industry, where they have independents, they have majors, and looking at how they do things very efficiently and how we can take that back into our industry. Also, while planning this event, we were really looking at how we feel going to conferences, and how many times have you experienced where you're like, man, sounds great to go to that conference, but I'm so busy. I don't know if I can make it there. I really don't have the time to do that. And then you end up going, and 6 months later, you're in some type of a pinch, and you end up calling a contact you met at that conference, and they help solve that problem for you. So I think that shows that networking is invaluable, and that's what really GAWDA brings to members, is that networking opportunity. So we're going to be doing things a little bit different at this Southwest Regional. So we've created an agenda that really tailors to creating relationships, and particularly with people that you may not have had relationships with in the past. Every morning is going to be an activity you can sign up for, which that activity is hot air ballooning. So you'll be with different, more intimate groups, depending on the morning that you choose. From there, we're going to go into speaker sessions that won't start until 10 a.m. So it allows you to get some work done in the morning, to relax and get breakfast and network with people, and then be able to dive into those sessions where we learn about companies, again, how they do things outside of our industry, that then we can bring those best practices back to us. And then we're going to do some fun networking opportunities after that, such as grape stomping. We have a few other surprises lined up. We have a comedy night that's going to take place. We're raising money for GAWDA Gives Back during the golf tournament with what's called hole hecklers. So at a particular par 3 hole, we will have some comedians there that will be heckling the heck out of you to raise money for GAWDA. So that'll be a fun addition. And then we're also bringing back the Sign Seated Dinner, which is the closing night. And the thought behind this was, instead of people going off into their own, restaurants or reservations that they have, how do we keep everyone together so vendors and distributors alike can sit together where it makes sense and really learn from one another and what they have to offer? So this is a sponsorship opportunity for vendors to sponsor a table, and it's first come, first serve of whoever is first on the list of sponsorships gets to choose the customers they sit with first. Last year we did this, and it was such a fun event, and we got a lot of great feedback from that.
Registration for that event will be open soon, so keep an eye out for the GAWDA Connection to register. Staying on the topic of regional meetings, this year the YPC made an effort to have a presence at all of the regional meetings. And during her inaugural address, Allison said that each of the regionals next year will have a GAWDA growth workshop. Can you tell us more about what that will entail?
Yes, we're so excited to roll out the GAWDA growth workshops. Something that we've learned in the Young Professionals Committee, and is something everyone has felt coming to the professional development sessions that we've held, is that it's not really all just about, you need all generations to learn from one another and to grow as a young professional. Or if you're someone that's seasoned management and has been in the industry for a long time, there's so much perspective to gain from young professionals. So although the bar crawls and scavenger hunts are a lot of fun and provide a networking opportunity, we want to provide a professional development opportunity at every single regional event, annual event, and semi-annual event. So we are going to tag them as a GAWDA growth workshop brought to you by the young professionals, but it's for all members of GAWDA to join. Last year at the Seven Springs Regional, Abity had a niece, Caveat. She's phenomenal, and she was a GAWDA growth workshop. At the semi-annual conventions, we host a lunch and learn with the president of GAWDA to really learn about their lessons along the way, and that's open to everyone. that will be a GAWDA growth workshop moving forward. So we will have a little logo at registration, and you'll be able to quickly see and identify that it's a professional development workshop, and it's for all members. We also encourage members that don't necessarily send their middle management. If it's a regional event with the GAWDA growth workshop, that's a perfect opportunity to send that middle management for professional development training. And it's a lower barrier entry because it's typically within driving distance or a shorter flight to get to those regional events.
One thing that the YPC has made a very concerted effort at in recent years is bridging the gap between generations. You'll have these GAWDA growth workshops, your work with the GAWDA legends, and your Q&A with the president at the SMC. You've also been doing the peer-to-peer virtual workshops. Can you give us a sneak peek about some of the things and the topics that you're going to be talking about during those peer-to-peer workshops this year?
Okay. Yes. I mean, nothing is off the table. So the peer-to-peer workshops, again, that's open to all members to join. The Young Professional Committee puts that together. And Jared and Lexi do a phenomenal job of crafting those meetings. But really, we listen to what are the questions we're continuously getting from young professionals. We post on our LinkedIn as well. So if you're not following the Young Professional page on LinkedIn, start following that. But we say, hey, what do you want to know about organization? Like even just as simple as organizing your mailbox or your inbox. What do you want to know about dealing with new leadership and how to put your best foot forward? Or if you're a new leadership, how do you take a team that wasn't with you before and foster them up? So what we have on the table right now is a lot around leadership and working with different generations and, excelling to that next level in simple, digestible ways. But I think where the peer-to-peer workshops bring the most value is you're sitting there learning from other people's perspectives of how they do things, as simple as, again, managing an inbox or how they use AI or whatever the case may be, and just being able to be that fly on a wall and hear people's different perspective of how they operate business is invaluable, I think.
During this year's annual convention, the newcomers reception was a GAWDA Guides program that allowed the newcomers in attendance to meet with each GAWDA committee. I spoke with several members during the show who had an interest in joining the YP committee. How would a member go about joining your committee, and what do you feel that they would get out of that experience?
So if you have a young professional that you would like to get involved in the Young Professional Committee of GAWDA, or if you want to get involved, go to GAWDA.org and go to the committee page, and you'll see who to email to get registered with the Young Professionals Committee. Also, once you make contact to us, we have a whole onboarding team that meets with you to see what subcommittee you want to be a part of. So maybe you want to be a part of our social media committee or our outreach committee or our events committee. There's something for everyone, and we would love to have you. So what you're going to get when you join or get out of joining the Young Professionals Committee is, again, perspective that is outside of your company to bring back into your company. So what are the best practices of how people are doing things? How do people think? And I think that's what is so wonderful about GAWDA, is getting so many different players from around the country into one room and then getting those perspectives and gaining that insight. So joining the Young Professionals Committee, you're going to make long-lasting relationships. I can't tell you, I've been very involved with the Young Professionals Committee for the last 5 years. And over those last 5 years, the amount of calls or texts or in-person meetings that I have made that have been so helpful and instrumental in my growth as a leader is, again, I'm going to keep using this word, but it's invaluable. So please join, and you'll be bringing a lot of best practices back to your own leadership and to your company.
For more information about the Southwest Regional or about GAWDA's Young Professionals Committee, click the links in the description below. Marie, thank you so much for being with us today, and thank you for everything that you're doing for GAWDA. Have a great day.
Are you a gas distributor, plant manager, franchise owner, or operations manager? Do you work around hazardous gases such as carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, hydrogen, ammonia, methane, or argon? Meet the MSC2 CO2 meters fixed multi-gas detector, your industrial gas safety solution. Feel confident knowing your staff, employees, and establishment are protected when working near hazardous gases. Don't wait until it's too late. Shop the MSC2 Fixed Multi-Gas Detector today at CO2Meter.com.
Today's supplier-sponsored interview is brought to you by Forney Industries. During the 2025 GAWDA Annual Convention in Tampa, we had the opportunity to speak with Dave Eckert, Vice President of Industrial Markets for Forney Industries Industrial Pro Division. Dave, we appreciate you joining us today. All right, we are lucky enough to be joined again today by Dave Eckert. Dave is with Forney Industries. If you come to the show, you know Dave. Dave, when we had the chance to speak at the SMC in Dallas, you had just launched some new products. So can you tell us about how those new products are being received and any feedback you've gotten from customers?
Yeah, excellent question. Late last year, we launched our 190 AC/DC MP and our 250 MP products. Both are doing fantastic in the market. Distributor reception, particularly of the 190 AC/DC MP, has been phenomenal. That machine being not only a hot category, expanding AC TIG into a multi-process machine gives the distributor now a full complement in one machine of process capabilities. And again, we're seeing outstanding results.
Perfect. So when we spoke last time, I know you had a slew of things coming out. You said you got one right around the corner. Can you explain to us what you got?
Again, we're constantly bringing new products to the market, but at last month's FabTech show, we launched or introduced our refresh of our 272 MIG, which is a transformer-based machine produced in Italy. This particular machine has dual MIG capabilities. That is, you can run the MIG process as well as a spool gun literally by just hitting a trigger and switching back and forth. That product will be available for right now, we'll say at the end of the year, but as we transition into 2026, we'll actually have another product in the 211 MIG that comes out as well. So two brand new refreshed products in older technology, being transformer-based machines, but ones that your end users are demanding.
Perfect. Well, keep your eyes out for those. Keep your eyes on the GAWDA Connection. We'll announce it when they come out. Dave, when we were talking off camera, you said that there was maybe a little bit of a misconception about Forney that you kind of wanted to address within GAWDA and their distributor members.
Sure. Well, we're a 93-year-old company. We're an independent family business. Third generation runs it. Fourth generation's active in the business as well. My message to the welding distributor is we have solutions that are all about, one, augmenting your existing business, two, doing so very profitably. And that is, we bring solutions with profitability built in and also proven solutions that fit your business. You don't have to be worried about the boomerang effect. And then we're there in the long term to support you with your customers.
Perfect. Well, there you have it. If you have any questions, make sure to reach out to Dave today. We'll put his contact information in the description below. And Dave, as always, appreciate it, buddy.
Thank you for your support.
For more information about any of these new products or to contact Dave directly, click the link in the description below. GAWDA Media is the go-to resource for news and information about the gases and welding industry. Through our wide variety of publication platforms, GAWDA Media keeps our members up to date on all of the most breaking news, emerging trends, and member events in the industry. Want to get your company's message seen? We have a quarterly print publication, a twice-monthly newsletter, an online buyer's guide, and a twice-monthly news show. If it's happening in gas and welding, it's happening on GAWDA Media. Want to learn more? Contact your GAWDA Media representative today. Today's member news segment is brought to you by Anthony Karts. Check out the new CB6 6C 2WL HT cylinder cradle with full 360-degree mobility and heavy-duty handling today. This cradle is a rugged and highly maneuverable solution for transporting and storing industrial gas cylinders with ease. Whether you're operating in a fabrication shop, gas distribution center, or field service operation, the CB6 6C 2WL HT offers unmatched versatility and strength. Learn more or request a quote at Anthony's website, www.anthonycarts.com. We begin today's member news segment with 3 bits of sad news. GAWDA extends its condolences to the friends and family of Donald Stobaugh, Don Bobick, and Chris Leahy. Donald Stobaugh passed away on September 29th at the age of 75, following a long and distinguished career in the industry. Donald co-founded D&M Welding Supply, Alloy Welding Supply, and Tulsa Gas and Gear, where he ultimately retired in 2021. He will be missed. Don Bobick passed away on September 25th. Don was retired for the past 5 years from Gas Innovations, where he was instrumental in developing a very successful company. He loved all of his co-workers and friends, and he cherished the relationships that he built over the many years he was in the industrial gas industry. Chris Leahy passed away on August 25th at the age of 67 after a courageous battle with pancreatic cancer. Chris joined Airweld in 1985, where he went from a sales role to becoming a partner, vice president, and ultimately president. Recognized industry-wide for his professionalism and passion, Chris's impact on Airweld and its people is enduring. After 30 years of dedicated service, he retired in 2016, leaving behind a legacy of innovation, commitment, and leadership. In happier news, Huber Supply named Cal Huber as its new president. Airwater broke ground on a new air separation unit in Rochester, New York. Generant promoted Jan Uchowski to the business development manager. Stanley Black & Decker named Chris Nelson as its new president and CEO. Melissa DeJesus joined Weldcoa's business development team. Meredith Gas Partners announced key leadership appointments. Sven Brandau was named Director of IT and Systems Integration, and Lee Scoggins joined Meredith, Texas as the General Manager of the Houston area. Holston Gases announced the promotion of Phil Kirby to Executive Vice President. The company also announced that Scott Ford was named Vice President of the East Tennessee region, and John Anders was promoted to East Region Vice President. ARC3 Gases acquired Hall's Welding Supplies in East Liverpool, Ohio. Exacor opened its new distribution facility in Fort Worth, Texas. And finally, save the date for the IWDC gas meeting, which will take place February 17th to the 19th in Colorado Springs. To learn more about any of these member news items or to submit member news of your own, read the complete November 1st issue of the GAWDA Connection in your email inbox today or by clicking the link in the description below. And that's our show for this month. Thank you so much to everybody who has tuned in for the past 75 episodes and to everybody who joined us in Tampa to celebrate GAWDA's 80th anniversary. Make sure to tune in for our December 1st video, which will feature an interview with this year's GAWDA Gives Back recipient, as well as the return of our GAWDA member holiday cards. If you'd like to submit a holiday card this year, click the link in the description below for more information or contact Jake Horodnick at the email below. For all of us here at GAWDA TV, this is Steve Guillermo signing off. We're wishing you a safe and happy Thanksgiving. We'll see you again in December.